When I was in church, I tried to pay attention to the whole concept and see what exactly these guys were talking about. I've always been a curious kid. Whenever I hear things, I'm going to inquire, especially if I don't understand what the heck I'm hearing. If I understand the language, to my understanding, if you say something, I should understand it. If I don't, then I'm probably going to want to know more. If I don't ask you for more, maybe I'll do the research on my own. So I used to always want to inquire. But then I realized these guys didn't really want to answer my questions. My church treated me just like my school did, you know? And so many people have invited me to their Bible study. They have no idea how many Bible studies I've been to. My dad used to have a Bible study in the house every Wednesday. And I believe he's still conditioning the rest of the family with that shit. Plus a Bible study in the church on Monday, okay? It don't take that long to psychologically manipulate a kid. Any child who is curious, you put them in any place where there is those type of studies, they're going to absorb that information. Unless they are into doing what the other kids are doing or just being there enjoying their peers. Well, I was doing that too, but I was always focusing on what is being said, especially if I don't understand it. Now you guys are talking about a story. I mean, it sounds like fiction, it sounds real. So I want to know. And, you know, I would put my hands up and shit. And then a long time before they finally select me to see if there's nobody else around. It's crazy because in school it was the same shit. Because once I asked a question, the fucking bell is gonna ring before the teacher could give me an answer. So they know me. That's real fucked up now that I think about it. So in church, the same thing. I would ask one question and the whole Bible study would be fucking done because I'm hearing shit that don't make sense. But anyway, the Bible to me is an allegorical story for greater teaching, as it's stated in it. It's not meant to be taken literally, but that's human. I'm not even gonna judge you. I'm not going into the details. Human pick and choose when to take something literally, seriously, or personally, or as fiction. Our brain is designed to protect us, so our brain look for ways to even lie to us, just so we can remain in the fuck of not knowing, because knowing now disturb and destroy everything. I started asking questions outside. I have to ask questions, these guys don't have the answers, and I don't like that. When you don't have answers and I'm hearing shit that don't make sense and I'm sitting there taking it off, I try to entertain myself in church the best way I can, from having fun with the other members to playing instrument, self-thought. But I realized they were more into the kids that weren't asking questions. And when I asked the questions, I was always looked at, the hardcore guy who asked hard questions or whatever. Now, it was a joke. Like, I really wanted answers. Funny enough. Now I got the answers, but, they ain't got the answers the whole time. So I'm glad I never took in whatever bullshit they trying to give me for answers. Because if you read something, it makes sense to you, just like how you have a head. We all have a head. We can all think for ourselves. At some point in life, we don't need someone to do that for us. As a child, when you start learning to walk, then you're able to walk by yourself. Nobody have to hold on to you. You don't need a crutch unless you break your ligaments or some shit. Now, your parents may bring you into a specific upbringing, but it's still up to you to expand yourself from there. It's not meant for you to just stay there and explore that. That does not mean to go and date and birth outside of your race. That's not what I'm talking about here. But I'm talking about culturalize and tradition and meeting other people and understanding how other people live in different parts of the world makes us the same and what makes us different. That would allow people to actually live better, but that's not how our society is constructed. Religion is really a tool really meant to enslave you. From the songs that you sing and from the prayers and all the way it is structured, you will see a lot of similarities between a church and a courthouse. Now, if you've ever been to a courthouse or know how they operate, it's pretty much the same thing in a church. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how similar these things are, but you get the picture. And if you want, maybe another time. You're only as important in that church as the service that you give, okay? And that's how you are recognized. If you don't play instruments, you're not somebody who give high offerings or always on your tithes. I guess it's literally the same, pyramid. It's crazy, but that's not the point here. Pastors tell you to pray, but they don't know how to pray themselves. They don't get blessings from God. They get their blessings from you, but you don't get your blessings right away. You see, if God's gonna bless, He's gonna bless the two of you guys at the same time. God don't bless him, and then you gotta wait like you're a little peasant. God don't work like that. Okay, it's mostly business. That's really what it is. Even if a lot of people don't want to admit or see it as such, but at some point we all wake up to the fact of all the lies we've been taught all these years growing up by society or government and all the manipulation going on. You pray God for a job. Now you get the job. You go to the church and tell the church how happy you are. Whatever. Testimony. You happy. God bless you. Now 2 weeks later, you have a routine of going to church every Sunday, so you can go to church every Sunday because now your boss wants you to work on Sundays. Okay. So you gotta go back to God and ask Him to give you Sunday off. You see? God don't work like that. That's not God. That's your mind guiding you to do ridiculous stuff just so you can survive. That's just what your mind is doing for you. It's keeping you in survival mode. And that's what the church does too, because why do you have to go to church every Sunday, right? Because you need to wake up. The same reason why people go party every weekend. It's just to stimulate something inside, but they go and look for it outside.
Because they don't know how to retrieve it from inside. But that's beside the point.
You see how there's a misconnection in the way God delivers? God does not deliver like that, okay?
God is not a God that has peanut butter and you don't have jelly. God would not put you in a desert and there's no water. Don't make sense, no. It don't work like that.
It always works in sequence. If God is giving you a ride home, God is not going to give you a ride home and then you gotta walk 2 miles extra to get home. If that's not what you need to do in order for you to offset or onset something else, yes, it's gonna happen. But if that's not what you have to do, but then it's going to be you get the ride in front of your house safely. That's how God works. God don't do half work. So for God to bless you with a job and then turn around, you gotta go back to the same God to ask for a day to go to church. See,
then God wouldn't even believe that you have to do a routine of going back and forth to church. But anyway, that's beside the point.
So basically, the way church taught people how to pray is the reason why people never receive blessings, because they are praying from a mindset of lack, as if they don't have already.
You see, you shouldn't even be praying for anything materialistically. If you go to church, you shouldn't be praying for anything materialistically. You should just be praying for one thing. The fact that you have the ability to just wake up and go to church, put on clothes, and find a way to take care of that, you should never pray for anything materialistically. Your only job should really be praying for this world to change. Praying for something different, praying for something different, but that's not what most church people do.
In fact, most people go to church when things are not going too good in their life. Most people go to church, or most people find God in a hospital bed. A lot of people find God behind bars. So we have to go through certain things or certain things within us to offset or onset other forces that we may not be aware of that lives within us. And now puts us in a kind of put your back against the wall. Now, when you're in jail or you're in front of police, you tend to call God. You pretty much make a plea with God at that. As a matter of fact, let's take this example instead. People who drink alcohol know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to drink a lot, so I know I can tell you exactly how it goes. Every time you get very drunk, you make a plea with God. Listen, it's you, when you drunk to the point where you're just gonna die, okay? So, I don't know if you've ever been that drunk, but drink to the point where you're strong-minded and you're able to maintain your liquor to a point like I used to do, then you'll be drunk and still standing and unbalanced, but fuck it, you'll be okay. But you would be so drunk that it's death at this point, so you have to make a plea with God now. You hear me? Now. If you don't make a plea with God now, you're dead. That's it. Listen, you make a plea with God or you're dead. You hear me? That's it, there's no two way about it. This has been my experience several times. That's why I'm so grateful, because the amount of time I've made a plea with God, like, if you save me now, I promise you, I will walk on the other side of town every time I see a liquor store.
And take a deep breath. And God would save me so many times. Anyways, I don't want to get too emotional about how drunk I used to be. But if you're still drinking, if you're going to be drunk, or maybe you just experienced this last night, you just had to make a pact with God, like, please just give me one more fucking chance. I promise. We're doing it. It's Passover. I'll make up for it. Fuck it. Now today's 2020, you with your boys or with your homegirls, smoking and drinking. Tomorrow you're going to be like, shit, God, I think I fucked up, but give me a chance. Up until the weekend, you have to make another pact with God. See?
God loves you. God know you're a fool. God don't need you to go to church to learn all this shit. God know you're a fool. God just gonna let you be a fool until you learn from your mistake. It don't matter. Before you came to this earth, you know what your mission is. You just have to find a way to get it out of
your soul. Remember that.
Until then, you could do whatever you want. You could go to church for as long as you want. You could be a pastor for as long as you want. You could do whatever you want to stray away from who you are. But at one point in life, you will be faced with the decision either to find who you are or allow someone to manipulate you based on who they think you are, or based on who you think you are. Is it a known fact that you cannot even love anyone else until you love yourself? The biggest question I have for most people are expressing love on social media or saying how they love someone else, how they love this person. But a lot of those love are mechanical. They're manufactured based on digital age, based on social media, the accessibility to hide behind a curtain and be as duplicitous as you can, because you are able to hide behind social media and express your love, and it's not real. You may not believe in science, or you may not into science or into religion, but you somehow in this world and you have what's called common sense. Now, each of us is blessed with common sense and free will. That's why we run around wild and we're not in formation. If we didn't have free will, all of our asses would be walking in formation like a motherfucking art. It would be a must. But because of free will, then we get to choose whatever the fuck we want. But at some point, you get to the point where you have to face the fact that you have been fooling yourself. And you could have been much greater than you settled yourself to be. Now, whether this revelation happened for you on your deathbed, or at 25, or at 35, or at 13, 10, or whatever, whether it happened for you at whatever age it happened for you, it will happen. It is inevitable. It is not something, these words are coming harsh these days. It is not something you can escape. It is, in fact, superlative. So, understand that you can fool anybody and anyone outside of yourself. But in reality, you're only fooling yourself. Because what you reflect, you radiate. So, you are what you're looking at. Like energy attracts like energy, But nonetheless, the light also attracts a lot of bugs and fleas. So we have to be aware and have discernment. When you can ask questions that's outside of the norm, people that's above or supposedly on top within that field of where you're asking questions, when they can answer your questions, you need to start walking the fuck out.
Fuck this. Fucking incredible.